Alright, a bit of audio scuff, but start. Oh, some bit of pair of head. Quick test. I think you can. I actually can't even hear me at all. There we go. Now we have some good audio. You can hear my keyboard, which is actually kind of infuriating. So the audio is going to be really loud. Just hold on, because I have my gate set a little too aggressive. But this microphone is also just really sensitive. Let's turn that on. Alright. You can still hear my keyboard. Let's close the record for that. Test. I don't know. Maybe I'm too loud. Maybe I'm just a smidge too loud. That's my opinion. I've broken everything. Let's... Here. Fortunately, the end of a bit of a pain to you. It sounds better. Downside is that being honest, actually, me. Oh, then it would have interfered with my mouse. Let's move this. Your hearing. And it's amazing. All right. All right. Hello. And can't hear my keyboard anymore. It's great. You probably can, but for now this should be fine. If my audio gets a bit scuffed, I'm gonna have to adjust it. But I think for now I should be pointing right at my mouth. I need to be boosted. That. All right. Let's audition. Where's my string? Is it? Yeah? Yes. Okay. Hi. Hello. It's kind of random. I wanted to get back into it. Do a bit of started too. Don't know if you can hear this. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna. Ah, here we go. I do have everything set out of mic. Okay. So what are we doing? What are we doing today in web fishing? Why am I so laggy right now? Disabled. I think. Maybe I'm still going to get frame drops. I played quite a lot of web fishing. I didn't really want to. I didn't think it. Starting to think that maybe everything might be really quiet. This is about the time I should have. Maybe I'll put music. This is fishing, isn't it? I think. I don't know. Hold on. Hi, Grape. How you doing? I'm just finching away. I can't see my current bitrate 0 is lower than recommended bitrate. Getting any audio? Getting any audio? I'm getting audio. You're working. Welcome. I'm actually not gonna have music. Oh, everything's. Ow. Everything's scuffed. How's your work day go? Going swimmingly? Fishingly? Really wish YouTube didn't require the entire screen to show us what. It is what it is. I just wanted to yap. I wanted to do. So I said to myself this game I stream regularly. I just play it. Rain? Oh, rain's forming. Get my. I've been having fun playing web fishing. It's been a lot of fun. Okay, so hang on. I'm trying to look for the really. Wait, yeah, I do have the right thing on. I'm trying to look for the rare fish now. The rare fish, I think it's. Yeah. So there's a few things I've been kind of that's been happening. I haven't streamed regularly. Been kind of burnt out, I suppose. I don't think it's loud enough. It's should be good. If that's too loud compared to my voice, let me know and I'll work on some stuff. Yeah. So I've been kind of burnt out streaming. Save too. And yeah, it's fun. A lot of stuff. Been mixing. I'm working on it. I'm fine. I'm just backlog. I have a lot. Streaming hasn't been. I do miss streaming. I do want to get back. Haven't had the. This. One of the things I had to do recently with ear stuff was go to the ear, because hearing isn't. But thankfully, but right as all of this ear stuff is headphone, I have a pet AKG 712 Pros. Wow, I bought them in 2021, and they've just turned 5 years old. Finally, there is. I mean, I had trouble with that head. If anyone knows what AKG 712, when this stream goes live, if you live auto, but if you look up the AKG 712 Pros, you'll see, and I say, bit shit, bit bad. Plastic snapped, and they broke very quick. Actually, kind of a bummer. They were like 200 quid, and I really hated the fact only lasted so long. So I forced to get them through to 5 year, and over the last couple, getting worse and worse. And it's like basically there's a mechanical alien fish. Cutting out sometimes. All right, let me do that. I'm gonna be a bit louder. You might hear my mouse and stuff, but this microphone kind of sucks, so I don't really have any other option. All right, I think that's better now. Sorry if I've just blasted out your ears. This microphone has two settings: bloody loud or quiet, and it's really annoying. Sounds better now. Awesome. So yeah, I have new pair of headphones. Because my old ones, the AKG 712 Pros, broke. So the headband broke within, I think, a year of getting them. I think the headband and the plastic then broke. But the left speaker has problems now, and it's not conducting right across the whole set of headphones. And it's an internal issue that I could fix if I pulled them all apart and did all the disassembly, but I don't really want to. For now, they're my professional grading headphones, and I can't really use them to do anything audio or visual until, well, I don't trust them anymore. So I have had to invest in another pair of headphones, which is fine, because I actually picked up a pair of my dream headphones. They're if you're a fan of Dank Pods, I actually have a pair of HD 600s, Sennheiser HD 600s. They're a perfect set of oh, I think I'm barely on the regular now. They're a perfect pair of reference headphones, which means you're not going to get the oomph, oomph, oomph of bass. You're not going to get party bass sounds. But what? Excuse me? Okay, well, fine. I'll stand right under here then, right where the reeds. So yeah, you're not going to get ultra bass on them. You can configure them to be ultra bass, but typically I don't, because they're meant to be reference headphones. And what you hear through them is usually what you'll hear out of other headphones. So the HD 600s are great for mixing. They're affordable enough where they're great entry-level audiophile gear. So I've picked some of those up, and I've been trying to have... So what I wanted was these... I'm using the Sennheiser 600s right now, because my AKGs decided they were going to completely stop working now. So I had janked them together with hairbands and electrical tape, but they've completely given up the ghost now. They're done. Oh, it's heading north. I thought it was heading west. That's why. Okay. We'll go way up then. Yeah, that should be far enough. No, it's going... Oh, that is annoying. Okay. Off to the... You know what this will do? This area will do. Oh, I don't have any bait left. Epic. But this game annoys me sometimes. I can't really say it's the game's fault, it's my own fault. But anyway. Yeah, so I have a new pair of headphones. They're really cool. They're really good. I've been using them for a while now. They're really wide. They're wider than my AKGs sounded. But maybe I just got used to the AKGs. That doesn't mean the AKGs are worse than the Sennheiser 600s. I think in terms of like headphones, the AKG 712 Pros that I had were fantastic headphones. They got me through a lot of music, but the Sennheisers are just better wideness. I think that, you know, a better soundscape. But that's boring. You don't care about that. I have a lot of projects planned. Skipping right to another story. I took a break off of streaming. I've been streaming kind of infrequently because I've been kind of testing the waters. I want to get back into it, and is this too loud? I think it's slightly too loud. Lower it to that. Maybe it's not, I don't know. But... Ah, the rain's gone. But, am I still missing? Yeah, I'm still missing it. Yeah, Oh, I'm not going to make that. I haven't been streaming much just because I haven't felt it. Which I think is fair, you know. I didn't want to turn this into, you know, a full-time thing. I've always liked streaming. I've always been a fan of streaming. Just for fun. Actually, let's check the board. So I am hesitant to turn this game into my streaming... oops. If you see, by the way, if you see the screen flashing black for a moment, that's just me tapping in and out. Can't really help it, unfortunately. Alright. Ocean fish. We'll do ocean fish for a while. What upgrades can I get? I have a lot of projects planned. I do want to do... I do want to get started on... 30,000. We're halfway there. I'll just wait until 30,000 and buy all the upgrades then. So I want to start doing Luigi's Mansion. That was released on the Switch online thing a while back. So I want to start working with that. And playing that. I've been actually kind of craving it recently, kind of going back to old GameCube games and playing them. But something else that's happening soon is the GameCube... No, not the GameCube. The Pokemon... Pokemon Day... stream. So... On the 27th, we should be getting kind of an announcement on what games are going to be added from Pokemon. We already know that apparently Fire Red and Leaf Green has been added to the eShop, supposedly, which is awesome, but at the same time it's really expensive. But that's a whole other grip. I have a whole other vent about that specific thing. But from last year when I bought the Switch 2, I was always sure that they were going to add like the Pokemon Colosseum and Pokemon XD the next Pokemon Day. It just didn't make sense for them not to. So... Wait, no, I shouldn't be using this lure anymore because it's using up too much bait. I want to use this one. Yeah. But, so, I've always wanted to stream Pokemon Colosseum. And I'm really tempted when they release it for the NSO Online, or the NSO GameCube, I'm going to play Pokemon Colosseum and then XD, because I adore those games. They're some of my favorite Pokemon games. It is weird because I think in terms of Pokemon games that I really like love and enjoy. Oh, I've entered free cam. Pokemon Platinum, I think, is my favorite main title game. It's I think it has a little bit of everything. Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire are second because they're just really well balanced games. You get access to everything. I think they're just really solid games. But it's you can't really play either of those on stream because you need a streamable DS. So one of the things that I want to see is potentially and I know they did Radiant Diamond or Shining Pearl and Radiant Diamond or whatever it was. Ooh, I know they did that, but they were kind of a little bit inferior. I mean, they're fine games. Like, I think they're fine. Maybe I will play them on stream, but I wanted Platinum specifically. Regardless, so I've actually had the most fun in a Pokemon game in like the side level games. So stuff like your Pokemon Colosseums, your Mystery Dungeons, stuff like that. And I would love to see Explorers of Sky adapted into Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky adapted like the same way they did Mystery Dungeon Adventure Team DX. I really want I could really play that game. DX was such a good game. I think it was a really good remake of it was a really good remake of the Adventure Rescue Team games because it was incredibly stylized, and I think they leaned really hard into it, and I think that really worked in their benefit. It was such a good choice to do that. One of my favorite Pokemon games of all time has always been Pokemon Colosseum. I think it's genuinely one of the best games because it's I don't want to say it's mature and dark because that seems like it's an edgy teenager game, right? Pokemon Colosseum is all about like stealing the hearts of Pokemon and making them evil and stuff like that. But I think it takes a darker twist in the way that these animals, these creatures are kind of just basically, well, I don't want to say abused. This is getting dark, but you know, it's kind of a bit cruel, and I feel like there's a level of oh wow, like you don't find in Pokemon games that you find in Colosseum, and the whole thing about stealing the Pokemon from the other trainers, and you know, you get excited when you first see a Pokemon that you really want. I think there's something fun about that, and not knowing exactly what Pokemon's going to come up and seeing the purple. Like, how do I put this? This is more of a one-time feeling, but when in Pokemon Colosseum, you get to snag other people's Pokemon, which is just what they are. The enemy team is called Team Snag'em. Team Snag'em and Team Cypher. And in Pokemon Colosseum, if you see a Pokemon in the enemy team, chances are you might be able to catch it. So I actually had this when I was playing through originally, where I saw one of the Pokemon, and I was like, oh my god, I really want that one. And it started glowing purple, which meant you can catch it. It's one of the ones you're allowed to catch, because you're not allowed to catch them unless they're Shadow Pokemon. And the amount of joy I felt being like, oh, I can catch that one. So it's not a game where like every Pokemon is catchable, because I think Colosseum was made to fill a gap between. I think Pokemon Colosseum was made to fill a gap of missing Pokemon, for specifically Johto Pokemon, that they didn't have in Emerald, Fire Red, or Leaf Green. Well, and Ruby and Sapphire, obviously. So I think it was meant to kind of bridge a large gap. And I think with like Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Fire Red, Leaf Green, and Pokemon Colosseum and XD, you can get every single Pokemon now. Except from the event ones like Jirachi, Deoxys, Celebi kind of. Celebi is kind of a large asterisk. Like, I mean, in some copies of the Japanese games and some releases, I think for Colosseum with some pre-orders, you got a bonus disc that allowed you to transfer Celebi. But they are incredibly rare and incredibly expensive. And I actually don't know how Colosseum is going to handle that. Like, I don't know. I think they've given away enough Celebi where it's like you can get a Celebi wherever. They kind of just assume that players, if they're going to want a Celebi, they'll probably just hack it in anyway. So I don't know if they're going to give the bonus disc away as well as Colosseum. It'd be cool if they did, but I don't think they will. Yeah, Colosseum is a lot of fun. Because bye. You play as like this guy is like basically an ex-grunt. And you were originally part of Team Snackham, and you kind of... This all happens in the intro, I'm not spoiling the story or anything. Like, and your whole thing is that you've basically taken something, and I don't think your motives are ever explained, but it's such a fun game. So as soon as that's added to the Nintendo Switch Online, I am going to be playing the crap out of it, because I adore that game. But one of the things I was surprised to see was, I was actually incredibly surprised to see Fire Red and Leaf Green on the eStore. Now, I'd heard for a few days that, like, because there was some leak or something that confirmed that they were going to be added or something. You didn't hear that. I'm trying to swear off of fizzy drinks, and I'm just like, got a bottle of Pepsis. I can't drink until I've fished. But yeah, so I was actually rather shocked to see them, because I wasn't expecting... So I thought when I first read that they were going to add Fire Red and Leaf Green to like the Nintendo Switch Online, or via their own like Nintendo Switch Online Virtual Console ports that you could get for free with the NSO. But I knew deep down in my hearts of hearts that, you know, the Pokemon Company would most likely make you buy him again. But I didn't think that they would charge that much money. Now I have a pretty strong opinion about this. I do have a pretty strong opinion about this. I do personally think that them charging like $20 for 20-year-old games. This is a problem with a lot of the video game industry right now, because like Rayman just released its 30th anniversary edition, and I think that itself is like $30. I'm blown away by it, because it's like, yeah, it's a little fairer now. Like it has like better checkpoints, and like the graphics have been updated, so it all looks really nice and modern and sleek and whatever. But I actually own the original Rayman on PC. Like I have it on the video, like as a DVD video game thing. Like I've had it for years. I've also got the original PlayStation 1 version. And what baffles me is that it's $30 for a remake of an older game. Like, but why? And it's just this thing where they're taking older games, remastering them, which is like putting them through like an upfilter, like an upscaler or whatever, and then slapping them on for like $30 again. I thought, okay, Ubisoft would do that, but the Game Freak and the Pokemon Company, surely they wouldn't, right? With Fire Red and Leaf Green, because I just didn't think they would, and lo and behold, they did, and I can't say I'm too shocked. I'm disappointed, but I'm not surprised. I haven't been a fan of uh, Pokemon games in a while, since like Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. That was a kind of final nail in the coffin for me. Legends Arceus was sick. I loved Legends Arceus. I want more of that. But the come on, are you gonna give me a rainfish? Are you gonna give me a rainfish? Please, please. But I don't know. Again, I'm not surprised that like Game Freak putting the like Fire and Leaf Green up for like $16.99 or like $20, because one of the reasons I can guarantee you why they did it was most likely because those games secondhand, if you wanted to buy them secondhand, are like 80 quid right now, like $100, 80 to $100, and buying them secondhand is kind of annoying. And the kind of people who'd want to own the games, oh sweet Jesus, what is this? That's a lot of clicking. And the kind of people who would want to own these games are the kind of people who probably would repurchase them from, you know, the online stores. And more power to them, you know, it's what they want to do. I was hoping they'd be cheaper. I'd pay £10 for them each. Like, if they did a pack where it's like £25, I'd probably try and buy it, right? But, I don't know, it just feels a bit dumb to make you pay for, like, games that are 20 years old. But not only that, they're competing against themselves. So one of the things I thought about earlier today was like, oh, it's fine. People are going to buy it if they want it. And then I remembered that, like, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee exists, which is basically Fire Red and Leaf Green, but better. And yeah, the gameplays are different, and it's not the old style, you know, pixelated graphics that Pokemon got known for. It's But I just thought, you know, it's a bit weird to be competing against yourself for sales, right? Like, you are listing Pokemon Ruby, not Ruby, Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green in the same ecosphere as Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu. And yeah, like, one of them's cheaper. But it's like, you're selling the older games for rehash at the same time as the rehash games. The market for this are the people who played Leaf Green and Fire Red before, and I still own my copies. I'm actually tempted to play them on my like GBA adapter thing for the GameCube. That's because I'm a loser who plays physical games and doesn't matter for the quality. There are reasons you would probably get them, like they're higher res, and you know, they're more appealing because, you know, it's 1080p, and or 4K or whatever. It's it's nice to be able to play those pixelated games in, you know, higher resolution, which I agree with, you know. But I just wanted them to be a little cheaper because I'm stingy. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see what else they have for us. I'm still hoping for Mystery Dungeons Explorers of Sky, but I think I'm holding my breath for that. I don't think they will. I don't think DX Explorers or Pokemon Mystery Dungeon DX sold as well as they'd hoped, so I don't think they're going to. It's a shame because it was really good. I don't trust you. Gonna give me another one before you disappear? No? Well, that's fine. But I know I'm just an old man yelling at Cloud. Ultimately, I think it's a step in a better direction that they're actually offering these games as like downloadable things. Ultimately, I think that's a good thing they're doing that. I actually really like that. And admittedly, if they did release, Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, I would probably pick them up too. Maybe not for like 16.99, but the only ways to play Hoenn games are via the DS with the admittedly amazing remakes, which, if anything, I would want them to port Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Actually, that sounds sick. Actually, I would I would buy that. I'd spend 30. I'll be honest. I'll be real honest. I would spend £30 buying like Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire on the Switch. Does that make me a sellout after what I've just moaned about? Probably. But this is the time to start remaking like old DS games because we can't buy them anymore, Nintendo. So I think it might be a good thing to have Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire available as like playable 3D games on the Switch. I think that'd be great, honestly. But talking about physical releases of stuff, something I think I said this before, but something I've been doing lately is I've been buying more manga again. Um, because when I was collecting manga originally, I didn't have much space and I didn't have much time to really read them, so I was just buying them and not reading them, so I stopped for a really long time. And then during COVID, all the costs of everything went. And, buying anything secondhand kind of sucked. But recently I've been kind of going a little crazy with buying some manga. Like, I actually picked up if was it issues 1 to 17 of GTO, Great Teacher Onizuka. Hi North, how's it going? Thanks for dropping by. So one of the things I actually did was I bought issues 1 to 17, three different batches of Great Teacher Onizuka, which is kind of rare, especially here in the UK. I think I think I'm only missing like 5 or 7 volumes now. Um, 5, 7, but I've been buying up like really good packs lately and just kind of getting good bundles. One of the things I've started doing is buying 3-in-1s because I've had some really good luck with 3-in-1s. Like, I'll get to that. Like, there's some amazing bundles. Like the Death Note Black Edition. Jesus. Um, watching while you work. Oh, thank you for having me as side monitor content. I'm doing all right. I'm just vibing. I wanted to like chat, just say things into like a random string of consciousness. We're literally doing nothing. This is a nothing stream. I'm just yapping. There's nothing happening. I'm just yapping. But uh, yeah, I've been like the Death Note Black Edition, is really good. I really enjoyed the quality is great and the paper feels fine. I know a lot of people had some complaints about like other 3-in-1s, but the Viz Big ones seem to be okay. Like I have the Viz Big edition of Inuyasha, the 3-in-1. I can't say I'm a fan of Inuyasha. It's not my jam, but I haven't admittedly given it the best of chances. But I think the paper quality on that is fine. And it's the same thing with the Death Note. I think the Death Note is really good. It's like chunky. It's really good to flip through and swipe through. But then I recently picked up a set of 1-in-3 D Greyman, and I've got all of them now. So I've got the most recent one, which is volume 1 to 9, the 3-in-1 volume 9, which carries all the way up to volume 27. They probably won't release another one in a while, but that feels like tissue paper. I feel like I have to handle it so delicately because it'll just rip in a moment. If I jerk the wrong way, it'll tear, and I'm so terrified. The bonus to that, though, is that these are incredibly cheap. I say incredibly cheap, cheap for what they're worth. So if any of these do break, as long as they're not the newer ones, I can actually replace them for like £5. So like $8, which for a 3-in-1 isn't actually bad of a price. But I picked up all of Love Hina, and I have all of Love Hina. I have all of Fuma Lacrymus now. I have all of Shaman King. Do I? No, I think I'm missing like 2 or 3 all-in-ones of Shaman King, but I haven't began reading that one yet. So, but I've been reading more manga, trying to get through some of this stuff because I've been really inspired lately. Because I've got so much of it, and I was going through some of my boxes, and this all started because I just wanted to sell things because I have a whole ton of things that now I've moved into a smaller space. I'm trying to see. I don't know how long I'm going to be in this smaller space. I'm going to be honest. I'm trying to downsize on a lot of my stuff. So there's a fair few things that I kind of want to look through and get rid of and kind of cut down on. Some of the things I'm looking at is my manga collection because I know that some of them are still. What is my foot hitting here? Ugh. Oh, that would be a cat food bowl. As I fed my cat up here the other day. My cat has been rather clingy with me lately. I think he's a bit sick, but I fed him up here. Got to take the bowl down. But yeah, so I've been trying to read more manga lately because I want to get through a lot of the series. Like I have stuff I know I probably want to sell, but I'm trying to read through it before I do sell it. But when I was a teenager, one of the things that actually inspired me to start collecting manga was I walked into my friend's bedroom. I had a friend who collected all of like a lot of manga. Like she had everything. She was like up to date with everything. She had all the like latest Naruto's and the Bleach and the D Gray Man and everything. She kept up to date with all of it, and she was getting them really cheap on like Amazon. And this was back when like Amazon was like the bookstore of all time. Back when they were just a book website. And I remember walking into her bedroom and she had like 6. No, she didn't have that many. She had like 4, 3 to 4. Whoa, hang on a minute. I got an alpha stick. How can a stick be an... I've got an alpha Sodacan. How do I get an alpha Sodacan? But why? Oh yeah, Amazon being just a bookstore is like ancient memory now. Like I still remember like the old HTML looking stuff from like eBay and that. But yeah, I walked into her bedroom and she had like 4 bookshelves, I think 3 or 4 bookshelves, and they were just full of like the most popular manga of the time. And this was 2008, 2007, 2008, maybe 2009, anywhere between 2007 and 2009, I think. We went to her house a lot because she always had manga, and my friend and I wanted to read while we just chilled out. But I still using no yeah. But we used to just go there and read a ton of stuff, and her like bookshelf of manga, like at the time I wasn't the most affluent, so having manga was like a big thing. I remember when I first bought my first manga, which was Letter B, Volume 1 of Letter B, it cost me like 8 to 9 quid, and I didn't get any pocket money when I was a kid. We had to work for it, and me and my sister didn't like doing chores for money. We didn't. We were little shitheads, but we didn't get pocket money for that reason. So getting any kind of book like that was kind of a treat. And I remember my first ever purchase was at a bookstore on the way home from school. If you walked down a specific hill and you go through the town, you'd end up at a bookstore. And I remember this bookstore. kind of it was a very interesting thing because I think it was a new bookstore at the time. It had just opened. It's closed now. It's been closed for a while. It kind of opened then closed. But I went there and said, I'm looking for manga. And this is like 2007, 2008. And they're like, what do you mean manga? It's just like, I want comic book. And I remember they checked online on all the listings and they found it on Amazon. And they were like, we could order it in on Amazon. And I was like, yes, please. And I didn't know, like, they were just ordering it in like that. I thought they were like, I thought it was yeah, I thought it was all I thought it was like getting it from their distributors or something. I didn't. It was only after I went in for like, and so hold on, I'm skipping part of the story. So I ordered it through them and I handed them the money, and I don't think they charged me a commission for this. They could have done, but they didn't. I'm very happy they didn't. But how much money? I'm 4,000 away from being able to afford all the good things. Okay, I'll just save up. I'm in no rush. And I remember I bought the book and they were like, okay, so it could take up to a week or two to get it. We'll let you know. And I was like, okay. No, they did charge me a commission because it was like 12 quid, I think. But I remember just... Also, when is the rain happening next? I think I should be due for a rainstorm soon. But anyway, when I put the order through, I kept going back like every day hoping that maybe it would be there. I think by the time the book came in, the person running the bookstore, because it's like a 1 or 2 man team, the woman behind the bookstore just kind of handed me the book and went, "Here's your book." And like I would sometimes like appear at the door and she would just shake her head and I would just walk up again. I was a menace. But I really wanted that manga and I kept going back and I remember when I first bought it because none of my friends had ever heard of Letterby, and it was actually something I had found out because I was using a anime pirate website. I'll be honest, I was watching my stuff on an anime pirate website. I mean, what else could you do in like 2009? Crunchyroll didn't really exist in the same capacity it does now. But I remember I ooh, you two have caught things as well. I remember yeah, we used to go to her house to watch anime too because she had all the anime DVDs. But I think she sourced them from a friend in America who got them really cheap. I don't remember. Anyway, I remember I saw something for Letterby, and Letterby or Tigamibachi was streaming at the time, and it was like when it got a new release, it would put it on the front page. And I remember watching the OVA because that had just been leaked or something for the DVD release, and they were just about to wrap up season 1. And I remember watching it and being like, "Oh, this looks good. I want more of this." So I started reading the manga online, and I was just like, "Why don't I make this my first purchase?" Because none of my friends had heard of Letterby, so I go out and buy the Letterby manga. And I remember taking it to my friend and being like, "Look, look, look, look! I got my first manga now." And she was like, "Oh, that's cool. Do you want to read like volume 1 to 1 million of Bleach?" And I was just like, "Ah, yeah, you do have like 600 volumes." But I bought a few volumes after that. Like I could only ever find them on eBay, or not eBay, Amazon, because they wouldn't turn up at any of the conventions. And I went to my first anime convention in 2009, where I found a bunch of manga at the time. I also bought like a Nendoroid. I think it's an original Nendoroid. I think. But it's an old one. Like, it's an old Miku one, and the plastic's rather soft, so it could be a reproduction, I don't know, but... Some of the manga I bought there... What did I buy there? I can't remember now. But I don't think I bought much manga there. I think I might have bought Attack on Titan. I think. I'm not too sure. I think I definitely bought... I bought love Hina, I think. So one of the things I bought when I first went to convention was... What did I buy? There must have been something I bought. Oh, Blue Exorcist. I think I bought Blue Exorcist. I think I got a few other things, but I didn't really buy much when I was there. I bought... The only thing I remember buying is Blue Exorcist, and then I think I bought Haruhi. I brought Haruhi, Blue Exorcist. Um, I think I got the light novel edition of Haruhi, and I think I sold it because I thought, ooh, books are gross. I think... I don't remember. There's a load of manga I bought from there that I can't honestly remember, but... Then I went again in 2010 and 2011, and I picked up like stuff like Attack on Titan, and then I would later pick up like My Hero and stuff. But yeah, no one ever had Tegami Bachi or Letterby. And I remember, oh, there's a rain cloud. Yippee! Let's go. Make haste. Make careful haste. Back in here. Oh, God. Yay. Yay. Okay. Up here. I think there's a... Yeah, there's like a... Oh, really? Yay. There's fish. Yeah, I never found Letterby, and I used to look around for it a lot, and I kept picking up volumes when I saw them release on Amazon, but I started collecting it really a lot in 2019 because I stopped all manga purchasing because I went all in on like Tokyo Ghoul and Blue Exorcist and stuff like that. I've since sold Tokyo Ghoul. Gonna nap a little before going back. Have a good stream. Thank you. I will. Have a lovely nap. I hope you feel refreshed and take the weight off of work. You've done well. You've earned a good nap. I'm gonna take a quick drink. My throat is a bit dry. Yeah, I went all in on collecting stuff like I had volumes 1 to 8 or 1 to 9 of Tokyo Ghoul, and I remember reading it being like, this is kind of dumb, it's kind of lame, I don't like it, and I sold it. And I don't regret that actually, because I think it was a little dumb. I do think it was a little dumb. But I think that's the only manga I've ever sold was all of Tokyo Ghoul, and it's not worth that much because everyone and their mum collected it for a long time. Like, I think it was one of those things. Like, there are some manga like I have that are worth a lot of money. I'm really gutted because I was actually collecting Girls und Panzer, and I have volumes 1, 2, and 3, but not 4 because I just didn't buy it when it was current. But when it was current, it was really expensive because no one was buying it. So it's like not popular, but now it's out of print. It's like, now everyone wants it. So it's like £200 for a volume, and I think, that's ridiculous. But the other volumes I have are still worth like 50 quid or something. And I've got a lot of GTO that I picked up for such an incredible price that if I was to sell these now, I could probably get about £200 or £300 for this collection. And I bought all of this for combined about 100. So there's not much value in a lot of the stuff that I have. Like, for example, the Death Note Black Edition. They're still in print, I think. Or if they're not, they're really easy to find. So it's a lot easier to kind of quantify getting them. Same with D Gray Man. I think a lot of the 3-in-1s, I think they might still be in production, but if not, they're really cheap anyway. I think people just bought them and then realised, oh, they're a bit nasty. Like, my biggest complaints about the Degrayman 3-in-1 specifically, other than the paper feeling like trash, is that I wish that the covers were more uniform across the front, instead of just being a rectangle of the main cover image of the first volume. Like, I think Volume 1 of the 3-in-1 is the Volume 1 cover. Volume 2 of the 3-in-1 is the Volume 7, or Volume 3 of the 3-in-1 is the Volume 7 cover, and so on and so forth. So it just uses the first volume's cover to cover that entire thing, which is fine, but I mean, they're 3-in-1s. You're not buying them because they look nice, you're buying them because they're cheap. And I think that you trade a lot of stuff off for buying the 3-in-1s because they're much cheaper. And they take up, ultimately, I think, less space. Like, with the Degrayman one, the paper is incredibly thin and feels fragile, but I've never ripped it. There's actually been a time where, because I sleep kind of in a... Not sleep, when I read manga, I'm usually in bed, laying on the bed, kicking my feet. But, but, you know, like, twirling the phone cord between my fingers. Anyway. So, anyway. Don't know why, that's so fucking dumb. But anyway, I'm reading like in bed, kind of on my front, just reading with my light on, and my cat will just sometimes like get in my way and like nuzzle my hand, and he will nuzzle really hard just to get my hand onto his head. And I do try and like stroke him and stuff, but like there have been times where he's actually made my hand like completely slip off the paper. If there was a time that thin feeling paper was going to tear, it would be then. Like, I probably would have been a bit pissed if he did that, but he didn't. So he's a cat, he doesn't know. But the paper does feel rugged, and it does mean a smaller volume. The ink blends through, like it bleeds through. Like, there's a page in the 1 and 3 volume 1 where you can just quite clearly see the thick blocky print of the previous page shining through, and it just bleeds through. It's the quality of the paper sucks. But the upside is that I can pick this up for like £3, £5. Can't really do that with, for example, the Shaman King's 3-in-1 or the Death Note 3-in-1s. The Death Note 3-in-1s, which I don't think they're really 3-in-1s, they're Death Note kind of black editions, are just volumes that are squeezed into 6 different editions. They are incredibly high quality. They're bigger overall, so they're taller and slightly wider. They're just a scaled up version of the page. But the paper feels rugged, but it is wider than the normal 3-in-1s because the paper is high quality. And it's the same thing with the Shaman King 3-in-1s, which are published by Kadokawa, which Poppy was here, she'd know. But Kadokawa, I think, is what they are. And they did a 3-in-1 edition, and the paper in that feels just fine. It feels like regular manga paper, because it's just literally manga paper, but oops. Yay. It's just manga paper, but printed. I just don't know how to talk right now. It's just manga paper, just printed in a 3-in-1 book. So the 3-in-1s for Shaman King are more expensive. A little bit more. It's like £7 for a second-hand Volume 1 than it is £3 or £5 for a second-hand Degrayman one. The paper feels better quality, but they are thicker for that reason. So it's ultimately a trade-off in quality. But going back to I mean, some volumes actually, like for example, the Viz Big of Inuyasha feels fantastic to read. The paper quality is fine. The print quality is a bit sometimes it's a bit with thinner lines. It's more noticeable. Like in the Inuyasha, Viz Big is pretty noticeable, but otherwise it's fine. I think the paper quality is fine, but it does have to be bigger to accommodate for that. and they are typically more expensive. But I wasn't really in the mood to buy a lot of Inuyasha when I wasn't really sure on it. But the one of the things I remember from Tagamibachi was the anime. So I watched the anime up until I think part of the way into season 2. But I think after that I was trying to find the manga and I couldn't. I was trying to read it online, and reading anything online at the time was a bit harsh, and I wanted to collect manga anime, so I ooh, fish in the ring. Nice. Oh, I'm so close. I need to catch one more fish. Let's just put you on and we'll catch something here. But I remember the anime not being quite so bad. I remember reading the manga. I was like, wow, this is all really blocky and like properly looks nice and cool and whatever. But I didn't really think of it much more than that. So comparing the two just wasn't in my head. So recently I've been going back and watching anime and reading my manga and stuff. And one of the things I did was I first read through all of my Letterby. And I'm not going to spoil the ending, but the journey is definitely better than the ending. That's all I'm going to say is I do think Letterby is worth the read. Worth the watch is another thing. So I'm going to try and say this without saying any spoilers about Letterby. Um, but very basically, Letterby is about the journey of Lagseeing and his partner or dingo called Niche, who is like this all-powerful sword hair girl. But was that going to be enough? 124. Yes. Awesome. But they deliver letters, and these letters contain hearts. And Lag, who is the main character of Letterby, has the power to. Oh wait, hold on. What do we have available to us? We have a buddy upgrade. And we get 15,000. I can get a tackle box upgrade and rod power upgrade, but everything else I think is maxed out. I need to buy some of these. I don't typically buy all of these. But anyway. So the manga is pretty hard hitting, and I think the manga is actually really well paced for what it's worth. Like, I think the manga does pacing really, really well. And oh yeah, I can't afford any of that. That's fine. But the anime I'm noticing is like having to cut up stories that don't make sense. Like, for example, halfway through, I would say about 1/4 of the way through the story, this happens. Oh, hello. This happens fairly quickly into the story. The main guy who looks over this postal service is sent out of his post, and two people come along that are kind of looking over the whole thing. And at first, they try and frame them as like villains. And during this whole thing, Lag and another person are put into the undeliverable letters service, and this is where the story starts to really speed up. So there's a lot of mysteries that like come through at this point, and it's when these two people come up from like the main capital city that these mysteries start being like, ooh, what's happening? Are these people evil? So when they get these undeliverable letters, it starts opening up the avenues of, oh god, they're delivering these letters that couldn't be delivered or wouldn't be delivered, and the who's doing this? Is there people interfering and stuff like that? But the anime completely decimates that pacing, tells several stories early, and I can't. The problem is because I love the manga so much. I think the ending sucks. I'm going to be real with you. The ending for Letterby sucks. If you're going to read Letterby, read it for the journey and not the ending. I'm not telling you to be disappointed with the ending. The ending is fine. It's just 5 out of 10, and I wanted more from it. But it's a fine ending. But like, what? Read it for the journey. Just don't watch the anime. It sucks. It absolutely sucks. But do I hate the anime because I'm so familiar with the manga? Would the anime have been better had I watched the anime first again and then read the manga and went, oh, this wasn't in here? I think I should have done that first. Because if you watch the manga first, if you watch the anime first, you might actually get more enjoyment out of, you might get more enjoyment out of the anime than the manga. Because there are some, like, anime exclusive filler episodes that they have that are better, when you don't know they're nothing to do with them, like the manga. But there's an episode in the first season where, in the anime, where they're going in a cart, and there's two people on the opposite side of this cart. It's Lag and the girl who's like the sister of this guy who goes missing. I can't really explain more than that. But the two of them are friends, and they're looking for this guy who goes missing. And she's with Lag, and they have a bit of an argument. In the manga, this is a whole chapter about a doll getting stolen, and they're trying to get it back, and there's this whole really impactful thing, and it actually leads into a whole other story route. So sorry, I hit the microphone there. Sorry if I blew out anyone's ears. But in the anime, in the first season of the anime, they frame that whole story as a Butch and Cassidy style story, and it kind of sucks. It's an anime exclusive story, and it's not done right. And it has the elements of this manga chapter that's meant to lead to a story at the end of it, but doesn't. The most baffling thing is that in the second series, they have the episode the chapter was based off of in that as well. So you basically get two stories, one that's intentional, one that's not. But also, like, Let It Be ended in 2020 something, and by the time that 2011, by that time in 2011, Takami, like, Takami Bachi, Let It Be, had kind of fallen out of favour and wasn't being produced as much. So in 2011 and 2010, when they were making the anime, they wouldn't have known the story. But I just don't think it's a very good adaptation anyway, which kind of sucks, because I really wanted to like it, and I've been watching it through it recently, but it's been the first anime that I've actually just straight up dropped. I just had to stop watching it because I knew it wouldn't live up to the expectations I had for it. So I've been watching a lot of anime actually now, worrying that if I'm gonna like it based on the fact I like the manga instead. And there's a lot of anime out there that like is better with the manga. It's the reason I haven't watched D-Greyman again. Oh, I keep knocking the microphone, I'm very sorry. It's the same reason why I haven't gone back and watched D-Greyman, the anime, because I know for a fact there's a ton of like filler arcs. And there's like over 100 episodes. I think to get to the point of where the first D-Greyman anime ends, you have to get to volume 14, which is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is like 5 of the 3-in-1s. And then the added anime series they did like fills that up even more. And I don't remember enjoying the anime, I'm gonna be honest. Because the anime ends with this really dumb cop-out fight with like, and then they fought for millennia. And you think, come on, man. So I'm not watching I'm not gonna watch D-Greyman dude. That was a horrible slip up. I'm not gonna watch the anime. The same way I'm not gonna watch like Bleach, because I remember watching Bleach when I was a wee kid and loving it, and I read through all of the manga on like the Viz app like 2 or 3 years ago before the launch of the new final arc. And I've always maintained that Bleach kind of sucks. the anime specifically sucks. The manga's fine. It's a whatever manga. It's like made for teenage angsty teens, you know. So it's going to be sucky. But I just didn't enjoy it, which is fair, you know. But I didn't really find Bleach much enjoyment. Didn't find much enjoyment out of the manga Bleach, and I'm probably talking about Bleach. But I know full well I'm probably not going to have much enjoyment out of the anime either, because that just has filler and stuff in it. So I'm kind of tentatively watching it, kind of wondering, kind of reading it, going, where is this going to go? But you get like certain things that are kind of seen as the big three of a generation. Like, for example, it was Bleach, Naruto, and One Piece. Though I seem to recall it used to be Bleach, Naruto, and Fullmetal Alchemist for a while. I mean, Fullmetal Alchemist was really up there as being really popular in the big three for a long time. But the anime adaptation of that kind of really sucked. And I entered. So they had to do it again, and when they did it again, it was absolutely amazing. Like, I think it's Full Metal Alchemist Revelations? No. Can't remember now, but it was they've redone the anime and it's far closer to the manga now. And I think that's that's the version people should be watching. Brotherhood, that's it. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Thanks, North. I have been tempted to watch that, but I think I only really want to watch that when I've read through the manga, and I haven't got to that point yet because I'm still reading through Death Note. But it's fun going back and reading stuff that I haven't read since I was a teenager. But I've never actually read Death Note, so this is my first time reading Death Note, and it's bringing back a lot of memories. Like, the anime was actually really, really good at being basically one-to-one with the manga. Like, I think they did some things differently, but I seem to recall like the Death Note anime was like one-to-one with the manga mostly. I can't really remember. If it's different from the ending, I don't know. But I've got to the point in the manga where Nier and Mello show up. And if you don't know much about Death Note, I can't really explain more than that. But there's a turning point in Death Note about halfway through that I seem to remember it was halfway through the series. I was like, this is boring now. And if there's anyone here who knows about Death Note, you'll know exactly the point I'm talking about. You know the exact moment I'm talking about here, where things just are like, oh, now it's boring. I'm not going to spoil it, but if you know, you know. And that is literally like halfway through the manga as well. It was like literally halfway through the fourth volume. I recently read all of oh my goodness, I've never heard of this title, Dorohedoro. Oh no, I have heard of it. Let me look it up. Dorohedoro. I've never heard of this. Oh, hello. Oh, what did I get in here? You close? Oh, yeah, I did get a pink cowboy hat. Cosmetic grey shorts. Oh. Neat. Dora Header. I'm gonna have to add this to my watch list because it looks pretty good. I'm gonna count that. It's a lot of fun. It ends in a very rushed way, but the journey is fun if you like the grim gory stuff. I actually kind of do. Sometimes I do think that the ending is like the ending is a bit irrelevant if the story to get there was good enough, and that's kind of the thing I think about Letterby as well. Is that and that's Letterby, Tagami Bachi, Letterby. I know I keep saying Letterby. It's Letterby, not Letterby by the Beatles. Anyway, I'm funny, but that's the kind of same thing I think about Letterby, where the ending, in my opinion, failed to satisfy me. But I know a lot of people who think the ending of Letterby was just fine. It was perfectly fine. It was felt a bit rushed, but otherwise was fine. But I feel like if the journey to get to the end was still memorable, which Letterby's totally was, I think it still makes for a really fun time to read. I would probably reread it in the future. It's kind of the same way I feel about the original Full Metal Alchemist anime, um, where oh, sorry about that. I had to tab out for something. Um, but um, it's the same thing I think about the Full Metal Alchemist anime, where the original one, not Brotherhood. Um, yeah, forgot how to play for a second there. Where the ending sucked, but in its own way, the original anime had an interesting journey. Not that Brotherhood. I haven't actually watched Brotherhood all the way through. A little fun fact: I've never watched Brotherhood all the way through. I think I've only stopped halfway through. The original, the original Fullmetal Alchemist had an interesting journey, and I think that itself makes it kind of a reason to watch it after the fact. It's the same thing that I've heard about Spice and Wolf, in that the original show has more dynamic between the main characters, but it's not as faithful to the story, whereas the remake was more faithful to the story and the setting and environment, but took away some of the characterization that may have been pleasant in the original anime. I think at that point you kind of just have to watch both and make up your decisions. It's the same thing I think about the Digimon remake. Something I didn't know. They remade Digimon, the original Digimon Adventures. They've redone it. I had no idea. So, one of the things I might do when I've watched through Spice and, because that's my next thing now. I'm watching through Spice and Wolf. Um, oh, rain. Um, why do I have it? Oh yeah, that's just a live notification. What direction are you heading? You're still growing. That's fine. We'll buy stuff and see what direction you're heading. But they've yeah, they've it looks like it's coming over here, so I'm gonna. Yeah, they remade Digimon, and people actually say that the original Digimon was better, and I'm actually kind of really blown away by that because it doesn't feel like it should be. You know, like it feels like. Okay, well, I'll stand here then. It feels like the original Digimon shouldn't be better than the remake, but people say that the remake was closer to the original, like something, and it handles some stuff slightly differently, but the original had better characterization. So the difference is, I guess, story and pacing, where the newer version had worse pacing but was better story-wise and more coherent. But the original Digimon anime had better characterization and and stuff, but wasn't coherent. I think is the thing people say about it. I have yet to watch it, but I've been very tempted to watch through both of them. So, I don't know if I really want to watch through like Spice and Wolf the original and then Spice and Wolf the remake. So what I might actually do is watch through Spice and Wolf, then the original Digimon, and then watch the remakes of the two of them and compare them. That sounds like a fun time. But yeah, I've been reading Death Note, and about halfway through Death Note, it stops being fun. And I'm actually really tempted to, after finishing the Death Note manga, I'm actually going to watch the Death Note anime. Because I want to know what differences there are as well. Because I'm having a lot of fun doing that these days. Like, I'm having a lot of fun just reading the manga and then watching the anime in this kind of like sick, long-lasting, spot the difference kind of game. Like, you've done this differently. Silent judgment upon ye. Like, I felt that all the time when I was watching Letterby, where it's just like, this is out of order. There's a whole, like, filler episode of Letterby that, I know I keep talking about Letterby, it really upset me. It's the first anime I actually dropped, so I'm really upset that the anime kind of sucked. But, Letterby is interesting because, it's, there was an episode of Letterby that, in the first series was adapted from what must have been then the latest chapter released, where Lag and Zazie, who is another guy in the Letterby service, both from the Friends, they went to a random town in the middle of nowhere. And this episode is meant to be, like, this whole story is meant to be for Zazie and his character development and also his backstory. But because they haven't got to that point yet, and this story is so far out by this point, they haven't actually, like, set up Zazie as a character. So they take the story, which is meant to be hard-hitting, and like, oh, and then completely changed it so the story is just now a Christmas episode. And it was like spotting the difference between this chapter I knew was later on in the story, like way later, and knowing that, oh, this is meant to be done like this, and they've changed it into a Christmas episode and everyone's happy. The original chapter was actually rather sad. Like, it had a really dark story to it, and it was just an episode of, like, Zazie getting, like, a chapter rather of Zazie getting kicked around, and it really sucked. But they changed it completely in the anime, and everyone's really happy and friendly and super awesome about it. And just like, I get it, but at the same time, I wish I didn't. You know? Felt like that show could have actually been 12 episodes. 12 episodes ago. I would love to see Letterby remade. I would absolutely adore to see it remade and redone and given the care and attention. It might serve better under the team that made Redline, with the really thick, like, contrasting colours, because of the style of Letterby, where it's all like the artist really uses a lot of like black contrasts against like light colours, and thick black blocky kind of colours and stuff. I think it might look better under that team because it would just be, I think, more poignant. So, but I think it deserves a remake to some degree. I think they could get away with making them into like films, maybe a 24 season anime. Maybe they could probably squeeze everything into. Where's my cat meowing at my door? Meow. Meow. You just meow. Oh. Yeah. Meow. But now I'm being texted. It's texting me. Ooh. Everyone's doing this. But why? Go away. Anyway. Ooh, hello. Oh, gone out of range of the water. Rain. What are you doing? Come in and immediately cause mischief, why don't you? Well, that's fine. We can just sell and buy new ones of these for you. Reward. Yeah. Um, I've been having a lot of fun just watching, like reading manga and watching the anime back. I've been working through a lot of like the old anime I remember watching back in the day, like and just continuing where they left off. Like um, I watched through all of like Non Non Biori, which I remember being very cutesy, a nice fun time. I have to say I'm a bit skeeved out by it nowadays. It's still a really nice time. I think it's a really good anime, but like it's just a little odd, I think. Like some of the jokes just a bit suspect. But one of the things I watched through that I didn't think I would enjoy again was Hajime no Ippo, which there is a manga out for it. I don't know if it ever released in England or not. Well, in English in general, but I watched the anime and the anime was, I would say, boring for like the first 20 episodes, 20 to 30 episodes, and then when Mr. Hajime, John Hajime, beat some tournament, it became way more interesting, and I suddenly found myself more engaged in it, and for a large majority, I was feeling a little unsure of it. There was a few times I put it aside so I could watch other shows. Like I watched all of Non Non Viori while watching Ippo because I wasn't such a fan of it. And then at some point, one of the episodes just dragged me in, and I couldn't look away from it. It was a lot of fun, and I slept on it. I feel really bad that I slept on it so hard because it was actually really interesting. And by the time it finished, I would say Ippo is probably up there as one of my favorite anime. It's not my favorite anime of all time. It's up there in the list of them, but I still prefer the Monogatari series. But I have gone back and I've added the Monogatari series to my episode list now to watch it back because I watched it in 2000 and was it 2021? I think I watched it in 2021. Again, it was a lot of fun, but didn't really make it worth it. But I keep knocking my microphone. But I really want to go back and watch it again. I have got some of the light novels for um, the Monogatari series. Like I have Kizu Monogatari, and then I have Baku Monogatari 1, 2, and 3. And then I also have randomly that I found in a charity shop. Unfortunately, the book kind of got damaged. I'm really upset about that because it's actually my fault and I didn't. I have somewhere around here the where was it? It was the Monogatari um it was Neko Monogatari Shiro, I think. But I've yeah, I really wanted to watch that and read through it, but light novels don't really keep my attention because I'm a dumb surfer baby. I need things to constantly be flashing in front of me. And if a page is just full of words, I can't read it. All the words start wiggling. I'm like, this isn't normal. Apparently not. That's dyslexia. But I can't read. I can't read. I have a hard enough time. Like, it's part of the reason I've started to like get really burnt out really easily with Death Note is that there's so much dialogue written in the text boxes. And Poppy warned me about this because I think we were talking about this on the Minecraft stream about Love Hina and having a lot of text. But um, we were talking about Love Hina because I remember watching the anime back in the day and really thinking the ending sucked, but learning that the manga actually continues way beyond that point, and that the story was kind of ham-fisted. And I went and looked at like the first volume, flicked through the first volume of Love Hina, and Ken Akamatsu does a really good job of like writing really kind of clever one-liners, keeping everything condensed. By the last book in the series, she was very right. By the last book, there's like pages where it should have just literally been text. He would literally would have been better writing a light novel. But that's just how he is. So there's a lot of like text heavy stuff in manga that I'm like, I care. But I don't mind reading books. I have a lot of fun reading books sometimes. I just need to be in the right mood to read, because it is kind of a little hard sometimes reading. And I'm already reading like, so by my bed I have a set of like two piles of books. And I have my manga pile for all of my I want to be dumb big baby boy and read moving pictures. I just read pictures. Um, and then there's I want to be big adult baby boy that reads film theory. So I have two piles by my bed, and a like a coaster for my coffee and like hot chocolates and stuff. And I have manga on the left, um, theory books on the right, and my theory books are like dense, heavily worded, like the theory and the psychosm of the global doobs and the bleeby deebs and the gooby goobs, whatever the fuck, and it talks about film theory and like, what did Yasujiro Ozu really mean by having red in the background here? And it's like, absolutely nothing, mate. He just wanted the colour to pop against the green. But I have like all these books that I'm reading on film theory and film psychology and film theory and stuff, and it pairs very nicely next to dumb love story, dumb manga, you know. So reading a light novel and then going straight to reading, all of my theory books isn't really the best idea for me, because I will get burnt out quicker that way. No, I wish I wasn't like that, but it is what it is. But um yeah, I have fun just reading before bed now. I used to doom scroll pretty badly. Um I used to just read the news before bed, because it's what I've always done. I used to read the news before bed, and just the news just got worse and worse and worse. I ended up cancelling, like, I had subscriptions to newspapers and stuff, but I had to cancel them because they were just too depressing. I used to doom scroll, and I got really into the YouTube Shorts element of it. Never TikTok. I never installed TikTok. I haven't really used it, nor Instagram Reels. I always stick with YouTube Shorts because I'm a YouTube nepo baby. I think. But ever since I set that aside and just started reading under a lower light, I found myself getting, more consistent sleep, I guess. And it gives me a reason to read all of the stuff that I've bought, because part of the reason I stopped buying so much manga was because I just didn't read it. I read through all of like when I was at uni. I did a really dumb thing when I was at uni. I actually bought all of my manga with me, because at the time I was like, um, at the time I was like, oh, I, I want to impress girls, I guess, at uni, and take all my manga with me. I never did that. I never did that. But it was a lot of boxes, and I think it stressed everyone out. Like everyone out who had to help me move to uni with all these manga boxes and stuff. But one of the things I got into doing while I was at uni was actually reading the manga I was buying, because I was just buying it and then having it on the shelf, because I started to realize I liked having the rows of pretty looking books next to each other rather than reading them. That makes sense. Hold on, I'm being messaged. Uh, why? You pinging me? Anyway. Oh, sorry, it's flashing. There we go. So, yeah, I just started like actually reading what I bought, and that's something I've started doing again. It's just because like I want to have, I just want to read what I buy because it's so wasteful. Like, this is part of the reason why I'm also selling some of my other series and like not deliberately not buying into series I can't ever finish. Oh, hello. Um, hello, Valentine. Hello, Poppy. Um, yeah, so I mean, I did like having like rows of manga in the same way. So I used to collect them just to have them. And has my model frozen? No, it hasn't. Okay, I'm looking over to the YouTube preview. Um, it doesn't like my glasses, but yeah. Um, so I used to just collect them because I liked having all the rows of books together, and I just take them out whenever I want to read them, and then I read through a series, and I feel like I'm getting more enjoyment out of them. Also, hello, thank you everyone for joining. How is everyone doing? Oh, I've got a little thing here. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. I'm just yapping away. Yapping and yapping some more. Yeah, I have been trying to read through some of the collections, which is why I've not had, which is why I don't buy, oh, somewhere over in that direction. After the rain cloud goes, I'll go run after it, but it's part of the reason why I'm selling some of the manga that I know full well I won't collect, is because, like, I have volume 1 of Bleach. I don't think I'll ever buy another volume. Oh, I caught a fish. Yippee. Oh! Yeah, I don't think I'm... Oh, it's right there, actually. Very cool. Yeah, I don't think I'll buy much more Bleach, just simply because I don't really want to collect that many because it's just going to get expensive and I know I'm not going to read it. It's part of the reason why I chose to sell, it's part of the reason I chose to sell, what did I sell? I say I sold earlier. It was, Tokyo Ghoul. It's part of the reason why I chose to sell Tokyo Ghoul is because, I just knew that, I wasn't going to collect the rest of it, and I'm tempted to do this. I'm going to do the same with my Hero collection because I only have volumes 1 to 8 of that, and everyone seems to have that. And I don't really want to be collecting stuff I know I won't complete. So there's that, and then there's also, what else do I have? My Hero, One Punch Man, I think was another one. Love when the music kicks on every now and then. It is. It is so cozy. I'm just yapping. I'm just letting out a conscious stream of thoughts because I felt like streaming and I felt like yapping, but I didn't want to do anything like too brain intensive. So I'm fishing. I'm wishing and I'm fishing. I'm actually going to check out the board. But yeah, like why do you do that when I'm away from the pier? But I just like I'm gonna be selling my Hero, possibly my Hero. I'm gonna actually reread the manga and see how attached I get to it. And then One Punch Man, I'm tempted to sell because I don't really want to have. I don't want to really collect all of it. There's also other stuff that I'm tempted to sell too, like hmm, do I have a? Yeah, I do. Did I change my entire color scheme? No, I had the green rain boots. I'm gonna stay green. Stay green. I like how I'm like different shades of green. Okay. Anyway, so I'm pretty sure I'm not going to collect all of One Punch Man, and it's the reason why I haven't tried collecting One Piece is because there's so much One Piece. I might only be tempted to collect the 3-in-1s, but there's so many 3-in-1s that I don't really want to collect that until I've had my library set up and I have an actual place to. Oh, rain cloud. An actual place to put them. So I'm very hesitant to actually collect a lot of the manga now. Like, I'm okay owning Volume 1 of Bleach. Maybe I'll get Volume 1 of One Piece as well. Stuff that really resonates with me. I was tempted to collect Naruto, though. I don't know why, like, Naruto... kind of a little dumb. But I can't tell you that I'm not, like, tempted to collect it or anything, because it is actually really tempting. I have heard that the manga for Naruto is actually far better than the anime was, which makes sense. There's a lot of like filler in that in the original anime, and I'm actually kind of excited because I have the Japanese copies of Naruto. I bought a pack recently that had the entire Japanese Naruto in it. I was going to try and test out my knowledge and reading, the language just to read it, because it's apparently very beginner friendly, or at least most of the beginning part is very child friendly for reading, at least. So I was tempted to do that, but I've just been looking at my own collection recently, thinking like, what do I actually want to continue? So I'm only picking up manga now that I know I want to continue, or at least I think will have intrinsic value later on down the line. Like, I picked up volumes 1 to 10. No, volumes 1 to 9 and the anthology of Mieruko-chan, which is I've loved that for a really long time. I watched the anime of it. It was really good. But I bought volumes 1 to 9 in the anthology recently because I know full well that might actually be a really valuable series later. And I do kind of want to have some kind of resale value. But I just really like the art style. Having 1 to 9 for that price was actually really good. And I'm only missing 2 volumes because I think there's like 2 that are untranslated and 1 that is translated. I think I'd only watch Naruto if I followed one of the guides that tells you which are filler episodes you should skip. Yeah. Oh, that's new. Sorry, give me a moment. This is I've never experienced this before. I got weird ringing in my left ear. Maybe I should stop soon. Maybe. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should. But anyway. Yeah. The episodes you should watch of Naruto, like, Naruto's a really tricky one. I think there is actually a genuine, like... I think the Naruto anime has, like, 100 or so episodes, and you can skip, like, half of them because they are just filler to the nth degree. Sorry, if you're seeing me look left, I'm actually looking at the library to my left. I say library, the bookcase to my left. Yeah, I think it's fun. I would suggest reading it if you can. It might be better to read it. Miyaruka-chan is very fun, though. Hello, lad. I spotted fishing, I see. This screams Animal Crossing for the PS1. Oh, you would not believe it. This is a Webfishing. This is heavily inspired by the fishing in, like, most games, but also just Animal Crossing. It's a very fun game. Very cheap. It's just one of those games you can put on and chill out to while watching, like, a movie or something. It's fantastic. Even most episodes with the canon events have a ton of filler in them later on. It gets ridiculous. That's true. Like, I will say though, there is one Oh, I got this thing again. I already have it, but I caught that thing again. I need the other thing. Puppy, what's the big thing called? What's that big fish I'm missing called? I can't remember now. But yeah, no, that there are episodes like there's like a shark jump scare. Yeah, it's actually what is it called? It's a whatever that is. Whatever that was. A Ledisnopoly. Let's a Ledsnop. I can't read. A Ledsnopoly. I need a Ledsmonopoly. Um yeah, I need that. Which is apparently one of the rarest in the game. So fun, but no, yeah. There's one filler series one filler episode like series arc. That's what it's called. There's one filler arc in Naruto that I really liked, and it was the village hidden in the stars. First of all, sick. Village Hidden in the Stars had a sick headband, and they were just overall awesome, awesome because it was just a star, right? It's just a star, and that in itself is cool. But also, like, the story was surprisingly mature, where like they were granted superpowers, but it's the superpowers that were like killing them, and it was just really complex, and I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good arc. But yeah, I thought it was cosmetic dead unlocked. What? Oh my god. Yep. There we go. Oh, hold on. What am I doing here? I've messed my whole face up. But anyway, no, yeah, there's the filler arc, where it's the I don't like this. Fix my face. Oh no. Okay. All right. Never mind. Let's just put this back. But anyway, anyway, The Village Hidden in the Stars was a surprisingly good filler, and a lot of people I know who watched it hated it, and I can understand why. It was a bit dumb. It was a bit ham-fisted, but I think the story was actually really good. There was a lot of emotional weight behind it. But Naruto was actually the lead-in for a lot of my early music tastes as well. Hold on, what's this? The early filler arc, the early filler arcs were all right. Some filler episodes were cool, like trying to unmask Kashi. Oh yeah, that did try and happen. But screw the infinite Tsukiyomi filler arc. Oh yeah. I didn't catch the huge fish. No, I caught the big toothy fish. But no, in Naruto, I remember I remember what am I trying to say now? Um, that was it. Like Naruto actually informed a lot of my music tastes because wait, hold on. Is the cloud shrinking? Yeah. Okay, that's why I couldn't see it anymore. Because I remember me and my friend used to like listen to like all the edgy like 2000s bands, like the hard rock and the butt rock and stuff. And one of the bands we used to listen to was like Creed. It was like couldn't shed dead skin or something like that. It was like shed dead skin. You know that one is really like. You know all that like Alter Bridge and like Creed and like um, Three Doors Down, 3 Days Grace. one of the things we used to do was we used to just take turns listening to music, and I would just sit there and listen to my friend listen to the music. Like Finger 11 as well was another band we used to listen to, and we used to watch Naruto AMVs. So what we would do, my friend would be like, "Dude, check out this sick like Naruto AMV," and we'd huddle around this like 4x3 big bottomed computer screen, and me and my other two friends, like my friend M, my friend O, would just sit like in front of his screen and just watch like Naruto being like oh, there was one, is it like it was the AMV, and it's just like it's like the guy that Naruto's trying to look after is like dying or something, I don't know. And he's like he's just like he's it's just like really dumb because it's just like where have you gone or something, the song was like, I don't know, but it's like a whole load of really dumb thing. Like it's just AMVs. And there was one that I used to watch all the time because it was for Blue October. It was a Blue October one, and it was like an AMV for it's an AMV for Invader Zim, and it always stuck with me. And I'm pretty sure if you search for it now on YouTube, you'll probably still find it. And it was drilled a wire through my cheek, right? Drilled a wire through my cheek, and it was meant to be the Blue October song "Drill a Wire Through My Cheek," that was made for the film Saw. Don't If you're squeamish, don't Google that. Actually, that was a really bad thing to tell people to Google. But if you go on YouTube and search "Drilled a Wire Through My Cheek," you might still find the poorly titled Invader Zim AMV. It's always stuck with me because it gave my friend and I a good laugh when we found it, but also like it's not that bad of an AMV actually. Um, but there's other AMVs. There's one I found out about Bare Naked Ladies. You know, the groups is the group who made 1 Week, which was in the Digimon movie, and there's also like they did a song "Falling for the First Time," and they did it to they had an AMV for that for "Falling for the First Time" mixed with Gurren Lagann, and I still remember it. I found out about that band. I was like, "Wow, this is so deep, bro. AMVs rock." And I have made. It is my displeasure and pleasure to reveal to you all, I did make a few AMVs. I'm hoping I still have it somewhere, but if not, they probably got deleted with my old channel because I uploaded them to YouTube. You found the ZMMV yet? It's so unusual. It's so poorly titled. If you had to search it with if you had to search it with a regular title, you probably wouldn't have found it very quickly. But it's because it's labeled so poorly that like you're able to find it. But yeah, I have made a few AMVs. Like I made one for Sum 41, and no, actually it was SR81. SR81 and Soul Eater. Yeah. Yeah, I remember now. Hold on. Maybe might which direction are you going? You're going over here. Right. I don't know if I'm gonna get rainfish from this. But only 500 views? No. No, it doesn't. I'm gonna have to check that afterwards. Maybe it might be a re-upload, I don't know. But only 500 views? 400 of them were me. Oh my god. But no, it's fantastic. Drilled a wire through my cheek is so funny. I don't know why it strikes a chord with me, but I've always remembered it, and it's not that bad of an AMV. But I have made a few of these. It was SR71's, oh, what song was it? Wish She Was Dead? Wish I Was Dead? It's just a song about a guy who like is in a bad relationship and he just can't get away. But it's comical almost. It's very odd. But no, yeah, it's maybe I'll link that. Maybe I'll try and upload it. But it was really bad. Saying that, my friend M and I used to, I say M, he has a name, M. Uh, Skelling Sean might know of them, but don't say their name. Um, BRB. Alright. No, yeah, my friend M and I used to make, like, really bad abridged shows together because we used to watch a lot of like Yu-Gi-Oh abridged and like Naruto abridged and shit. And we wanted to do an abridged series. And I remember we used to just sit in front of like anime with my with like I would load up the show on my laptop at the time, and me and my friend would just sit in front of the laptop and just spew bullshit. And we would just watch the episode and just have a recording thing in the background, and then I would just match that to the episode and then cut it all down. Some of my first editing experiences came from editing together AMVs and abridges. And I've worked for a lot of companies now, man. They don't know my history. I have never actually linked that in like recent history. I think the last time I linked the because I think that one of the only reasons I made the AMV was to impress a female friend of mine at the time who was really into AMVs too. But yeah, oh yeah, I unfortunately, episode one of the abridged, because we did 3 episodes of Death Note abridged, then we did Vampire Knight abridged, and I think we attempted a Oran High School Host Club abridged. I think I'm gonna have to ask them about that. I don't remember if we did, but I know we did a Vampire Knight one and we did a Death Note one. And episode one of the Death Note one is now unfortunately completely lost media. It's gone. YouTube deleted the video, and I asked for it back, and they went, "No can do, get fucked." And I was really, really upset about it. I don't think it would have held up anyway. It was the funnier of the three. Yeah, it didn't do well on YouTube. It really did not. But we used to do that. We used to just literally watch episodes and then speak over it as if we were the characters, and then I would just lay that over the thing. I really wish I still had those. They're not anywhere else, unfortunately. I don't think I have a copy of them anymore. I think they're all completely lost media. Like the first episode specifically is. I know for a fact the other ones are. The episode 2 and 3 of Death Note abridged survive, and so does the Vampire Knight abridged pilot we made. That still survives. But I think it's for the best that they don't survive. Because, good God. Oh no! Trying to find your old AMV from high school that then survived. Yeah. I used to keep everything on my hard drive, but when I gave my laptop to my sister, no one told her she couldn't erase the hard drive, so she was told by her then boyfriend to just format the whole laptop, and I lost everything on that. But it's not her fault. No one told her she couldn't do that, and I did give her my old laptop. So if I really wanted to move the files, I had 6 months to get them before she did that. So it's my own fault. But it is what it is. I just lost a whole bunch of dumb, edgy stuff. But no, I remember making a lot of this stuff. Like, one time I went to a convention, actually, as Rin from Blue Exorcist. Was it Rin? I think his name was Rin, with the hair and the thing. And I had cat ears and the cat tail. And like flames. I'd commissioned my friend, the same friend who'd made those little props for me actually was the girl who had the whole bunch of manga that I was talking about earlier. And I remember going to convention dressed in this cosplay. And we all had there's a video somewhere on the internet. I can't ever find it again. I'm sure it still exists. I don't think the uploader would have removed it. For like 3 seconds, right in the middle of a crowd, you can spot me with my friends doing the caramel dancing. And I won't ever show you it, even if I did find it. Because, God no. But this was like for MCM London. Like, some 1 year. There was this massive pop-up. Like, we didn't know this was happening, but there was a massive pop-up, like, caramel dancing booth. It was just like, all of us, it was like, do, 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 and it just flash mob of caramel dancing, and me and my friend got, like, swept into it. And we just did it. And it was, yeah, it was a lot of fun. I wasn't really emotionally expressive back then, so dancing along with that, doing little bunny, like the cat ears with my hands, was the most you were going to get from me. Nowadays, pump enough beer into me and I'll do that for free. But, well, maybe when I was younger I could have done that, but no. Regardless. Yeah, like, God, there's all this stuff I used to do that, like, I look back and I was like, that formed me. It was cringe, but I was free. I guess. I know a lot of my friends look back at this and they go, "Oh no, I can't possibly know. I don't like to remember doing that." And I'm like, I look back and I was like, it was embarrassing, but I was cringe, but I was free. It shaped me into being who I am. I'm okay with that. Like, don't run from it. Oh, I'm about to run out of cloud here. And I'm about to run out of bait. Oh, bye. Anyway. Let's give a bit of silence. I've been talking for a bit. Oh, I'm getting a bit drained, I guess, with talking for a bit. Just, oh, did the rain clear up? Yeah, the rain cleared up. That's fine. No rainfish, but we have done quite a lot here. Like, I want to upgrade my bucket. Maybe I'll do that next. I need to catch a lot of ocean fish. And once I've done with the ocean fish, we'll go back to lake fish. Excuse me, burping a lot. I don't know if you can hear that, but I apologise if you can. Really sorry. Don't drink fizzy drinks during stream. I shouldn't any, but I don't drink. One of the things I actually did while I was talking about university and what I was doing, being cringe is badass. Yeah, I agree. Being cringe is free, and if you have enough, like, if you don't care, then just be cringe. Being cringe is more authentic. But when I was at university, one of the things I used to do at university was I used to buy, like, massive, like, 2 litre bottles of Pepsi and Dr. Pepper and Fanta and Coke and stuff and just drink that. And then one day, because I wasn't always the best at brushing my teeth either, I'll be honest. One day I remember getting a massive toothache. And I remember thinking, oh, this is bad. And I think after that toothache, I was just like, I'm drinking a lot of sugar and I'm gaining a lot of weight. So I decided I was just going to cut out all, like, sugared drinks. The fizz itself is a whole other thing, but so in, like, 2017, I was just like, do I like the fizz or do I like the sugar in the drink? And I remember buying Pepsi Max. Or, yeah, I think it was Pepsi Max because it was way cheaper than Coke Zero, like Coke and Pepsi at the time. And I think it was cheaper than Coke Zero. So I went and bought Pepsi Max and I realized, oh, I prefer the fizz. And I just stopped buying, like, really sugary drinks. Nowadays, everything's like zero, got a zero or a max variant, like Fanta Zero exists and shit. And I really like that, actually, because it means that, like, oops. It means that, I can just drink fizzy drink and be fine. It has a lot of caffeine still, and it's still bad for your teeth. I take better care of my teeth these days now. I wasn't very good at it when I was a lot younger, I'll be honest. But yeah, I don't drink sugary drinks anymore. I don't really have sugar in anything, not even my coffees. I have a sugar in my coffee if I have a strong coffee in the morning, but it's only like half a teaspoon, just to take a bit of the bitterness edge away from it. But yeah, I don't actually have sugar in any of my drinks anymore. I'm just saying this because I'm drinking through a Coke Zero right now, a cherry Coke Zero. Um, and I definitely prefer that. It feels nicer. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff I started doing differently at uni. Because, you know, it's your first time being away from your family and, you know, you're not, like, you got, like, freedom for the first time and, you know, there's a lot of stuff I know that people do when they first move out of university. I was never really good at sorting my laundry. So I used to just dump all of my clothes either on a pile on the floor or like a pile on my chair or on the bed, and I wasn't really good at it. When I first went to university, my room was like a shoe cupboard. I got really good at just organization and being more tidy with my clothes, so I'd end up having to like step over underwear and stuff. So I remember um, when I first like um, got my hamper, my laundry hamper, I started to feel more like an adult. It sounds really dumb. It's just like some of the more exciting purchases I made while at university was like laundry hamper and uh like my own dustpan and brush and stuff, and like buying my own like dish soap and like dish stuff. College was about the time I quit soda. My family would drink Dr. Pepper. Like, well, oh yeah, no, yeah, like that was one of the things that caught me off guard when I went to America. Was the only times I've given myself an allowance to drink a lot of sugary fizzy drink was when I visit America, because um, oh, it's true. I'll get back to that, Poppy. Hold on. Sorry, I'm like talking about three different things at once. But no, yeah. When I come to America, whenever I visit, I always try new things. And one of the things I've learned to do is just knowing that like I tried Jolly Rancher soda when I went to America one time. It's wild. I felt my teeth vibrate. The genuinely amount of sugar in that stuff is wild. Excuse me, but it's like so tasty. I can understand why people drink it by the bottle. But if it's a new drink or a new flavor of soda, I'll just drink it because it's like, ah, yeah, it's great. But like, typically, if I'm just at home, maybe sometimes once every now and then, I'll treat myself to a a Dr Pepper bottle or something. But I don't typically buy massive bottles of sugared stuff anymore, just because it's not healthy for you. But alright, so hold on. There's when I went to Japan, it was sugar to better mental health. Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Now I feel that. But that's true. I went to Subway, uh, in Maryland, and I wait. How much money do I have? 15,479. I think I can buy the upgrade now. But when I was that was the thing I was saying, and I forgot what it was. But no, to move on to the other point, like the buying the oh, that was at Subway. I went to Subway, and you have like a 15-ounce cup or something. It was wild. Like, I remember looking at Subway, and the person behind the till was just like, "Do you want to go to a large cup, like a big gulp or something, like a big cup?" Can't remember what it was called. Like they had a name for it, and I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll get that." And they hand me a bucket. A fucking bucket. And I'm like, excuse me, I think you've handed me a bucket. There is no way a drink can fit in here. And they go, oh no, yes, that's our biggest thing. I think this is a bucket. Why? I'm like, this is huge. There's no way. And my friend leans to me and he's like, because the first thing I did was I laughed. I saw this big, like, gallon cup and I just could not help but laugh. And I laughed and I was like, that's a joke. And the person behind the counter looked at me like dead-faced, stone-eyed, and just was like, it's real. Oh, this is a bucket. I can't drink all of this. But it was $2 more, so I went, fine. Should I have done that? No. But it was $2. I was just like, alright, fine, I guess. But, yeah, no, there was a giant cup and it was wild. Any kind of thing I see at the cinema. That's the kind of thing I only see at the cinema. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we do have those big cups in the cinema, but I think that's more understandable to have big cups like that because you're going to be in there for like 2 hours, right? But no, like to go back to what the what Poppy said earlier, buying appliances always makes me feel. Oh yeah, buying an appliance always makes you feel like a grown up. That's what North said. I love my new vacuum cleaner. Yes. And Poppy said, dog, buying things that makes you feel grown up for the first time is legit. It's true. It is so true. Like, I remember the first time I bought my own, like, this sounds so weird without context, but it's such one of those moments of like, I'm doing it. I've done my laundry myself for a long time. We always had, like, I knew how to do my own dishes and my laundry and stuff when I was a child, you know. We were taught how to do that. We never liked doing it because they were chores. Me and my sister would be like, no, Mum, you do it. Mum, can you clean my clothes for me? Like, 15. But I knew how to do it. But what legitimized it for me was moving into my own place and buying my own laundry detergent. So my own laundry pods, my own laundry softener and stuff. And it all made me feel so legit. Like, having like a point where I could just like have someone over and point to a cupboard and be like, oh yeah, it's in there. Oh yeah, where do you keep your soaps? Oh, it's right there. Just, there's something special about it. And like, it's so dumb because I remember buying the laundry hamper and showing my friend and being like, look, I bought a laundry hamper. And in any other situation, they would have looked at me like I was mental. But they looked at me and went, oh, that's so cool. Because I got it half price. Because it was, I can't remember why. I think it was on sale. I think it was second hand or something, or returned and opened. And it was like this big, proper, like, round, springy, like, laundry hamper. And I remember coming home with it, and my roommates being like, "It fits so much clothes in that," and I was like, "I know, I can fit a whole, like, 1 week, 2 weeks worth of clothes in it, and then I can take it all down with these handles, and the handles don't, when you grip it, the handles don't close in, so when you grip it, you can hold it, and you don't have to put too much effort." And then they're like, whoa. But that wasn't the best thing. We knew someone in my apartment complex who had a hamper on wheels. They had a hamper on wheels. They actually made it themselves. They made their own hamper and attached wheels to it, and all they had to do their laundry was wheel it out. Blew our minds. We all compared laundry hampers for like hours. I'm not even kidding. We would do that. We would sit around and say what adult stuff we'd done that day. And we were just like, oh yeah, we bought like a laundry hamper. That's sick. Has it got the wheels? Oh, it's got the wheels. Top. It's so dumb. But, like, I remember the time I started cooking for people for the first time and, like, making my own stuff. I used to, my gran taught me how to make cakes, so I know how to make cakes. And I used to start making cakes for people, but then I was like, should I start making, like, food? Actual food? I remember the first time I started cooking food for people, I felt like such a grown-up. Just like, yeah, this is fun. I like this. It's these weird things that, like, you find out when you're way older. Like, I was like 30 when this first happened. This is like last year. I went to a store when I was at my master's course, and I went to a store and found laundry detergent that was like barely opened, but there was a tiny bit missing, and it was like a whole £6 off. So for like £2.50, I got this basically brand new pot of brand new carton of like Sakura Blossom. I think it's Cherry Blossom like fabric softener, and I remember showing that to all of my flatmates. I rang up my mum as well. I was just like, "Mother, appreciate my purchase," and she did. I had friends like go, "Oh my god, you spent how much on this?" I was like, "I know." I was 30 and I felt the thrill of buying that, knowing I've got a great bargain on something so mundane. But I have like we're all in that age range now where it's just like I bought socks and they don't suck, and we're just like, no, where? So dumb. I love it. You have to take little joys in being an adult. Because if you don't, you're just going to be miserable. My little joys are having things like finding good bargains and be like, I bought this. And they're like, no. We had a roommate who used to go to a market every Sunday, and they would buy like surplus rice from the vendors there. And the oh, did the rain cloud disappear? No, it's right here. Come on, rain, rain. There we go. So yeah, we they would go and buy the no, I need to find good. I need good socks right now. I know. They would tell us where they bought them from, and they'd always be sold out. It's the talk of the town, knowing where to buy the good stuff. No, but on a quick side note from that, legit underwear. Really hard to buy underwear. Men's underwear sucks. It sucks. I think all underwear sucks, but like buying new underwear sucks. Buying men's underwear sucks. Like there was one brand I found in America that was, wow, it's getting my face is not tracking well. Why are you not tracking well? I think it's got dark outside, so my face isn't tracking as well as it used to. Hold on. I'm going to fix this. Maybe it's just not doing that during the dark rain time because it gets too dark. Yeah, okay, that's what it is. Right. I do this. Hold on. Give me a moment. Let's plug you in. Oh. Oh. Ah, I missed my fish, I think. Hold on. Oh. Uh, right. Ah, you're broken. Are you broken? I know this is fascinating to listen to. Ah, right. Let's tuck this here. Move this. You good, buddy? I'm trying to set up my ring light, which has not been working recently. I should buy a new one, but I haven't because I'm lazy. Yeah. I think these tech issues are telling me to stop. I think I've yapped for long enough anyway, and it is approaching dinner time, so I think it is now time to say goodbye. I'm going to sort out this ring light problem off stream, I think, but I think I've done enough web fishing for today. Let's collect our fish. I'm going to collect my fish, I'm going to sell it, and we'll go. I think I've said everything I was going to say anyway. Just been a stream. I wanted to yap. I wanted to play and yap. It's literally all it was. A few updates. I am planning a potential new VTuber rebrand. I've been teasing that for a while. I'm still working on it. But beyond that, I haven't really got anything else. I want to say I've been doing more, but admittedly I haven't done as much as I wanted to. Let's look at the upgrades, see what I've got left. What have I got from you? I'm max with all that. I need more rod power, and tackle box upgrade. Beyond that, I think I'm done. Yeah, thank you for all tuning in. Thank you all for tuning in. Sorry for the weird, abrupt tech issues with the light, but it's fine. I'll fix that for later. My tracking is awful right now. But yeah, thank you very much for joining me. I shall see you all another day when I choose to stream. And goodbye. I love you.